Hi guys, so whilst I'm on my little ranting about the benefits of breastfeeding, I also wanted to address some of the comments that I've received on some of my breastfeeding videos. You might be aware by now, if you're a subscriber of mine, that I've had to do this thing now where I have to I've had to do this thing now where I actually have to approve comments on my videos because of the hatred and the awful comments that I receive on my breastfeeding videos. I personally don't have enough time to go through and read all of my comments. So my husband goes through my comments, my brother goes through my comments, I sometimes go through my comments, and what we do is that we delete comments. We delete comments that are inappropriate, or we delete comments that are inappropriate or rude or contain a lot of swearing and stuff like that. And what I'm finding is that some of the comments that I get are absolutely mind-boggling. They really, really are. They're shocking, some of the comments that I get. And I knew that when I would make these kind of videos that I was going to get some negativity, you know, obviously, because what I'm doing is still seen as something that's very shocking to a lot of people. People are finding it very unusual because they've not seen it before. And I have toughened up a lot, you know, I've developed a thicker skin when it comes to these kind of comments because, you know, it did used to really upset me and get to me. And it doesn't really have that effect on me anymore. Nonetheless, a lot of them are very insulting and very offensive. And I've seen on other women's channels that breastfeed that they're receiving some of these kind of comments as well. So that's why I wanted to address it, really. And I'll give you an example of some of the comments that I've received. Quite a popular thing that people like to say, particularly men, like to say, and this is really offensive and really hurtful. They're saying things like, I'm a pervert, that I'm sexually abusing my child, that I'm using breastfeeding as a means to get off, that I'm sexually enjoying breastfeeding. And these kind of comments, in a way they're laughable, but in a way they're just so rude and offensive that I feel like they need to be addressed. When people make comments like that to me, it really just shows me their ignorance, because you know, anyone to leave a comment like that obviously doesn't have a clue what they're talking about. And like I said, a lot of these comments seem to be coming from men, and I think the problem here is that these men are having a big issue with being able to cope with the fact that breastfeeding a baby involves a woman's breasts, which, as we know, breasts are sexual organs. They are involved in many areas of the sexual production, and in terms of you know, feeding your child and all these good things. And because breasts are sexual organs, these men seem to be unable to cope with the fact they're sexual organs and yet they're being sucked by a baby. And therefore they assume that the mother is going to be getting some kind of sexual pleasure in a similar way that she would during intercourse with her partner. And I've addressed this before in a video called, I think it's called Shocking Video Orgasm During Breastfeeding, where I address this issue and how I explain that a baby's suckle is completely different to, say, an adult suckle. A baby has a very particular sucking reflex and suckles it in a way that is very efficient at extracting milk from the breast. And even say toddlers that are starting to lose their sucking reflex, like my 4-year-old is, it's a completely different kind of sucking that an adult would potentially do. And this is just such a cringy topic, but I'm going to address it anyway. you know, men obviously know that during foreplay or during lovemaking with their partner, that you know, breasts are very sensitive and very intimate parts of a woman's body, and can give a lot of pleasure to a woman. And obviously, men really enjoy them as well. And but like I said before, this you know, nature has created breasts this way, that yes, they are able to give pleasure during intercourse, but their main design, breasts were designed for nurturing and for nursing their babies. That's what they were designed for. The fact that they are pleasurable organs as well is just a bonus, but that is not what they were intended for. I mean, breasts are for the baby. And, you know, women have been breastfeeding since the dawn of time. And, you know, breastfeeding babies is a known fact that happens in life. It's the same as going to the bathroom. It's part of life. And let me give a really silly analogy here, but it's kind of, you're kind of pushing me to it because of these ridiculous comments. Let's just say that a woman uses her sexual organs to go to the bathroom, right? You use your vagina to go for a wee. That's to say then that every time a woman goes for a wee, she becomes sexually aroused because it's her genitals that she's using. That's the similar thing to what you're saying, that because a woman's breasts are a sexual organ, therefore when she's breastfeeding, she's automatically going to be aroused. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You don't get aroused every time you go to the bathroom, you gentlemen. Well, I hope that you don't. And if you do, I'd be seriously concerned for you, because that must be really uncomfortable. But do you get what I'm saying here? That, you know, you have body functions and, you know, body parts that, yes, they might be sexual organs, but it doesn't mean that every part of your life is going to be sexually arousing. You know, there's things that you have to go through in life involving your genitals, involving your sexual organs, that have nothing to do with sex. And breastfeeding for the mother is one of those things. You know, you breastfeed your baby, it has nothing to do with sex, absolutely nothing to do with it. The fact that your breasts are involved in it has nothing to do with it at all. And the fact that men seem to be so unable to cope with this fact, it really blows me away, because, I mean, my husband, he doesn't have an issue with this. He completely understands it. All my brothers don't have a problem. My dad doesn't have a problem. All of my male friends don't have a problem with it. My church doesn't have a problem with it. You know, most normal people don't have a problem with it. It's a very minority of men, which I personally think are maybe slightly sexually perverted, in the terms of they think that anything to do with breasts is so kinky that they can't see beyond. There's breasts and they're being suckled. Oh my goodness, it's so sexual. You know, and I'm making a joke of it here because it is a jokeable, laughable thing, that you can't seem to get beyond the fact that breasts are for nurturing the young, and that they can be stimulated by the baby suckling without involving any sexual feelings or sensations at all. And I think all you can do with these people is just suggest that you do some research, go back to school, or, you know, go and speak to a doctor or a professional person who can explain this to you in a better way than I can. So yeah, you know, the fact that people are saying this is just ridiculous. But also it is really, really highly offensive. I mean, come on, accusing me of being, abusing my child, accusing me of, you know, using my child, saying that I have a fetish. Oh my goodness, these are the most ridiculous, bizarre statements I've ever heard. And for a mother that loves her child, that wants to nurture her child, that's sacrificing herself for her child, and then it to be twisted a 360, that, you know, the very purpose of a woman nurturing her baby is to love and nurture it, and then to turn that around and say you're doing it to abuse it and hurt it. You know, it's just absolutely absurd, absolutely absurd. And you know, I wish that I could educate people. I wish that I could change people's ideas, but it doesn't seem to be possible to do so. And it's just very sad that in this day and age that we're living in, where there's so much information out there, that we're so civilized compared to, you know, our history when we were cave people, you know, that we know now so much more about the world. We're so civilized now, and yet we're still having this issue that people can't cope with breastfeeding. And all it does is motivate me to want to make more videos like this, to educate people, because it is a known fact, the more you see something, the less shocking it is. The more you learn about something, the more educated you become about it, the more understanding and the ability to understand and accept that information. So, yeah, I'm annoying myself because all I can see is the reflection of my phone in my glasses, so that's really annoying me. But yeah, I mean, there's been so many other comments, and you know, these were the ones that really stood out to me in my mind, that people could be so filthy and so immature and so dirty-minded that they could say things like this. I mean, it's just absolutely, it's just so sad. It's so sad. I actually feel sorry for these people, that they could think of something so hideous and actually believe it. But then again, a lot of people, it's just like internet trolls, you know, that go around going from channel to channel trying to leave negative comments. So like I said, it doesn't affect me like it used to. I mean, years ago, this would have really upset me and had me in tears. Now I can laugh at it. Sometimes it pisses me off, depending on how people say things. But for the most part, you know, I've got used to it, and to understand that this is the kind of, some of the negativity that I will receive. Most people are just confused as to why I would breastfeed my child for an extended amount of time. People aren't used to seeing it. A lot of people don't like the fact that I put breastfeeding videos in public and on the internet, and you know, there's those kinds of arguments, like, a bit more valid because I can understand people coming from, but my videos are hoping to educate people. And you know, I'm seeing it all the time. People are saying to me, you know, I really thought that breastfeeding was weird, and I thought when I first saw your channel that what you were doing was weird, but now after watching your videos, now I'm really starting to understand it. And particularly other women saying, I never thought I'd breastfeed, but now I am so looking forward to breastfeeding my child. I can't wait to breastfeed one day. And you know, even men opening up to the idea of seeing the beauty of breastfeeding and seeing it not as a sexual thing, seeing it as a wonderful, nurturing thing that so much enhances the woman's femininity, and you know, just makes a woman what a woman is. You know, people should see the beauty in being a woman. Yes, we have a lot of bad things that we have to go through, like childbirth and periods and stuff like that, right? And all the hormones going crazy, and the fact that we're so sensitive and emotional. But you know, being a woman is a wonderful thing, something to be appreciated. And you know, being able to be a mother is such a wonderful experience, and being able to nurture your child as well. You know, and I would hope that men that are looking for a wife would want a woman that is so devoted to her children and devoted to their health and well-being. They would have a new respect for their wife or future wife when they find her, and you know, wish to, you know, encourage her in her journey of nurturing her children. And you know, yeah, so yeah, I'm hoping that these videos are helping people. I just wanted to address some of those weird comments, and I'm really sorry to all you mums out there, but you've probably had these comments yourself, and I'm just, seriously, it is just ignorant people who don't know what they're talking about. And you know, don't take it to heart, don't get, you know, upset about it, because you know, if you're making videos publicly about breastfeeding, you know, you're going to get some of these comments. So just keep on doing what you're doing and be encouraged. And I think all you breastfeeding mums are absolutely amazing, and you know, just applaud yourself for what you're doing. Okay guys, I will see you all soon. Bye.